I've been having these weird thoughts lately. Like, is any of this for real? Or not?
A scattered dream that's like a far-off memory. A far-off memory that's like a scattered dream. I want to line the pieces up. Yours and mine.
They can take your world. They can take your heart. Cut you loose from all you know. But if it's your fate, then every step forward will always be a step closer to home. May my heart be our guiding key.
May your heart be your guiding key.
May your heart be your guiding key.
May your heart be your guiding key.
Okie dokie, my friends. Alrighty. Anyway, hello and welcome in, everybody. Welcome to another episode of my Kingdom Hearts podcast with a brand new name called the Paopu Scoop. The Paopu Scoop. Okay, so for context, if you guys are watching this video, the reason why I changed it from Walking to Dawn to the Paopu Scoop was because I wanted to make it sound more appealing, though. But then, of course, there was nothing wrong with the new name, with the old name that I had. I just felt like I just wanted a cool change. I feel like it needed a change and definitely sounded more Kingdom Heartsy like. But definitely make it sound cool and appealing. So that's why I changed the name to the Paopu Scoop. So welcome to my 4th episode of my Kingdom Hearts podcast. Glad you guys all can make it. And if you guys are watching this video, please don't forget to do the following by liking, sharing, subscribing, all that good jazz. It really does help me out. So, last month on February 13th, I was joined by my two good friends, Mo Chocolate and Agent Spacely. And last time, we were talking about the Crossroads Theory. We were having a Crossroads Theory, a discussion that was mentioned in a tweet by Tetsuya Nomura back in January of this year, to where he mentions a tweet talking about like how not only was it the 15th anniversary of Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, but also how Crossroads definitely play a pretty big part within the Kingdom Hearts series. So we talked about it. If you guys have not seen that video, definitely go check it out. Excuse me. My God, I am so sorry. But yes, definitely go check it out. And if you guys are new here, please definitely subscribe. Really does help me a lot. I really love doing this. I really love sitting down and talking about theories and lore from the Kingdom Hearts series. Definitely is a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it. I hope you guys are enjoying it too. But please, once again, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that good jazz. It really does help me out. And I'm going to look at Twitch chat right now. I see I have two of my mods. I have Goofy Luigi and Dark Bahamut. Welcome in, fellas. Hope y'all are doing well today. Hope everybody here is doing absolutely well today. So I am definitely ready to get started and talk about this series, this discussion what I'm actually going to have today. So for today's video, today's topic, where we sit down and talk about Kingdom Hearts every 13th day in the month. So we are going to be talking about Riku's journey in Quadratum. Now, obviously, we know that Riku is not the only one who's going to be in Quadratum. But what we've actually have gathered up so far, we definitely know quite a few number of characters. Some that are very familiar to us. Like who we know is going to end up in Quadratum. Obviously, we know that Sora will be there. We definitely were able to catch a glimpse of Strelitzia, a character from the Union Cross games, to where she looks amazing and adorable and in full 3D. She looks so great. And we've also saw the Master of Masters, including Lushu himself from the first trailer of Kingdom Hearts 4. But today, we are definitely going to dive in and talk about specifically Riku, and to why I feel this is definitely going to be the beginning of what he started from back in Kingdom Hearts 3. So, to sum it all back up from the events of Kingdom Hearts 3, let's take a moment to discuss. So, sometime after the events of Dream Drop Distance, we know that Sora and Riku had their Mark of Mastery exams in the Sleeping Dream worlds. Sora was the one who failed it. Sora failed his exam while Riku passed his. And a lot was going on until where he took off somewhere to... I'm trying to remember if they do mention where he does end up. But he mentioned that it was secret. It was very secret. And on the other hand, we have Riku, who takes off with King Mickey to traverse into the realm of darkness to go find Aqua and to bring her back home. So, around that time, this is definitely was like, to me, I felt like the Kingdom Hearts 3 felt more like a gain and loss opportunity. There was something that was gained during the events of Kingdom Hearts 3, and then there were a lot of stuff that were lost in Kingdom Hearts 3. So, Sora, on the other hand, definitely, because of what happened in Dream Drop Distance, he definitely lost most of his powers and abilities. So the main purpose of Kingdom Hearts 3 was to not only help his friends, because obviously we know that's the kind of character that Sora really is, but to also reclaim the powers and abilities that he lost. But one power and ability in particular was to master the power of waking, which later on he definitely starts to fully master it. And around that time, we know that Sora definitely overuses this special power, this power of waking, by helping out people, and at the cost of that, it definitely costs him his life and his existence. To relate to of course in the secret ending for Kingdom Hearts 3, we learn that both Sora and Riku definitely do end up in Quadratum. So there's a lot of questions and answers just waiting to be answered, ready to be discovered, until we definitely get some more information from Disney and Square Enix as to what's going to become of Sora and Quadratum in Kingdom Hearts 4. What is Riku going to do there as soon as he gets there in Quadratum? But mostly the focus is we're definitely going to take it all to what's going to happen. What's going to happen to Riku at first. And the reason why I picked Riku first was because here is my possible theory. I have a possible theory that Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to start off with Riku. We're probably going to get to play as Riku first. And the only reason why I say that is because in the Limited Cut episode, we definitely learn from Riku while he's interacting with some other Final Fantasy characters like Sid and Yuffie and Aerith and Leon. Definitely are talking about like how they're also trying to find Sora. Then Riku even explains himself that everybody's been trying to find Sora, but they've had no clues and no idea as to where Sora definitely really is. And it definitely was a lot going on back in Kingdom Hearts 3. And then later on, and then jumping a bit forward, we're diving into Melody of Memory, which I definitely do want to show a cutscene for this episode. In Melody of Memory, we do learn that Riku definitely accesses a portal to find Quadratum, as he definitely mentions how he was in a place to where, in a dream he mentioned that he was placed to where it was a night sky, it was dark, it was barren, pretty much no existence of life was there, it was pretty quiet and gloomy. But he does mention that he felt like that somebody from a distance was watching. Obviously, we definitely know who that is from that cutscene, but we definitely will get to that real soon. But I definitely do want to talk about, show off this conversation that Riku has in the end of Melody of Memory, which obviously is going to lead off to the start of what's going to happen in Kingdom Hearts 4. So we're definitely are going to get into this. So give me a second. I'm going to open up a file real quick. But also, by the time you guys are watching this on YouTube, let me know in the YouTube comments, what are you most excited for in Kingdom Hearts 4? Are you excited to play as Riku? Are you excited to play as Sora? Are you excited to play as another character? Let me know who you're more excited to play as. And also for those in Twitch chat, feel free to share who you're also excited to play as in Kingdom Hearts 4. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to open this up. If it will let me. Okay. Okay, let me see. I'm going to see. I'm looking up something real quick. All right. Okay, so this definitely is this definitely is going to be a long one, but I definitely do want it added in anyway. So we definitely are going to add it because honestly, I do feel that this segment right here is going to be very, very important. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do this. Let me go ahead and turn off my music real quick. Leave that there for a while. You can definitely mute for now. Okay. So I definitely do want to watch these cinematic cutscenes because I do feel like that they definitely are going to be very important for this discussion. And we'll definitely break down each and every one of them. So here we go. Let's get into it. Let's watch and we shall explain. Okay, here we go.
If you arrive in a world that's neither of light nor darkness, but somewhere on the other side, your task will be far from easy.
Yes, he said that's the answer.
Not of light or darkness, but on the other side?
I've never heard of a place like that.
Something else he said perplexes me. Your voice can't reach us. I'm certain of where your heart is.
You would assume that he's referring to the realm of darkness, but that clearly isn't the case here, wouldn't you say?
A lot of
Where
questions.
voices can't reach. The other side of our world. Of reality. Unreality. A fictional world.
Fictional?
I'm afraid such mysteries are beyond our comprehension.
Maybe Mickey or Master Yen Sid knows.
Any news?
Riku!
Oh, Kairi, you woke up.
Yeah, just now. How come you're here?
Well, actually, I found some info about Sora.
Really? We got something too.
You did? Oh.
And this is where it gets interesting.
Oh, excuse me, dears. I certainly didn't mean to startle you. If you're not expecting magic, it can be a surprise.
No kidding.
Now then, I am the fairy godmother, and it's a pleasure to meet you all.
She came here at Yen Sid's request. He said she's got a clue that might help us find Sora.
Yen Sid sent you?
That's right. To find Sora, we need 3 keys. First, Riku, and then, of course, there's you, dear Kairi.
Okay.
With Riku's dreams and Kairi's memories, you two have already done your part.
Kairi's memories?
Yes. We performed an examination of Kairi's heart and obtained an important clue from the lost memories it contains, which is that there's another world on the other side of ours that's not of darkness or light.
Riku, what did you dream?
This is definitely where we're getting to know about Quadratum.
Since Sora disappeared, I've been having dreams about a large city with tall buildings. Apparently, that's the clue.
A city?
Maybe that's what Xehanort was talking about. A fictional world.
A fictional world?
Yes, perhaps. The 3 realms of our world. Light, darkness, and between. These are all places we can travel to, because they are on our side. This also includes the worlds of memories, data, and dreams. If I am correct, then this other side of our world, from which voices cannot reach, must be a place outside of our reality. Namely, it must be unreality, or fiction. But that is the extent of our knowledge.
So I thought we should go to Mickey and Master Yen Sid to ask about it.
I'm not quite sure they'll be able to help you, my dear.
Then, what now?
Oh, you forget. There are 3 people who hold the key. There's still one more. One with a strong will and a very precious dream.
Who is it?
You'll see. I'll introduce you.
Huh?
This is where it's going to get really, really interesting for the starts of Riku's journey to Quadratum. This is where it all happens right here. And then we'll definitely talk about it.
Whoa.
This place.
You know it?
Yeah. I came here with Sora, and also in my dreams while I slept. This is the final world. But there's no one here.
That's not true. Why don't you look closer?
Huh?
I mean, I will admit, this definitely is a really pretty
The
world.
stars. I never noticed.
Yes. Strong hearts gather here after death until they are ready to move on. I'm sure she's around here somewhere.
She?
The final key.
Huh?
We found you. We've been searching all over for you, my dear.
Do I know you? I'm Kairi. It's a pleasure to meet you.
You're all able to retain your appearance in this world. I met someone else who could do that.
So she's the final key?
That's right, dear. Now we finally have all 3.
But how exactly can she help?
It's simple. She came from the world on the other side.
What?
Huh?
You see, she's very special. Her form was taken from her, but she managed to find her way here. If she goes back to her world, her heart will certainly be stolen. Right, dear?
Oh. Yes. It seems you know a lot about me.
A little. And I would use my magic to change you back if I could. But I'm afraid that's impossible while you're in this form. Don't fret, though. I believe that we'll find a way to make your dream come true very soon.
My dream? Come true?
I want to help make that happen. Will it lead us to Sora?
Oh, I'm afraid it's not that simple. First, we must get to her world. She can open a path for us, and you can use the power of waking to go there.
The power of waking.
Sorry, but did I hear you say Sora?
Huh?
Wait, do you know him?
Yes. He was here. He encouraged me not to give up. Did something happen to him?
Yeah. Sora disappeared. He's a good friend of ours, so we've been looking for him. Right now, we think he's in a big city full of tall buildings. Ring any bells?
A city full of tall buildings. Quadratum?
Huh?
It has more skyscrapers than any other city I know. That must be it.
Quadratum. Is that where Sora is?
There's no way of knowing. But I believe it is possible.
All right. Think you can help us?
I'm not sure exactly what's happening. But if Sora is in trouble, I want to help. Please let me know what you need from me.
Thanks.
And this is the start. This is where it all begins.
I'm afraid this is as much as I can do. It's up to you, Riku, to take care of the rest.
I want to go.
Kairi, that's not...
Yeah, I know. I want to go with you,
She'll go someday.
but I know that I can't. I need to finish training. I need to become stronger. And when I do, I'll be right there next to you and Sora.
Good.
But first, I'll go explain everything. To Donald and Goofy, and to Mickey and Master Yen Sid.
Be careful out there, dear, and try not to do anything too reckless. Come straight back if you encounter any trouble.
I will.
And there he goes. Okay. I think that's pretty good. For what we've known. I think that's good. Okay. So now, going back to what I was saying. Okay. Okay, going back to my music. So, basically what we saw there definitely raises a lot of questions out. It raises a lot of questions. So, from what we saw from some of those cutscenes, we definitely learned from Anton the Wise that definitely are three sides to a world. There's one of light, one of darkness, and definitely one of those in between. Now, it definitely does raise a lot of questions about the world of Quadratum, to where it can either be fiction or just a different part of the world. And for what we saw, what we gathered at the end of Melody of Memory, is that they definitely do talk. The fairy godmother talks about how there were three keys in order to find and bring Sora back. One of the key is definitely being Riku. The second is Kairi, and then third is the Nameless Star. Which honestly, there's been a lot of theories to this day as to who this Nameless Star possibly is. And from what we gathered, Riku definitely uses the power of waking. As we saw in the cutscene, we saw Riku take out his Keyblade. He uses the power of waking, and thus he ends up in Quadratum. But he does mention to Anson the Wise and the others, like how he had a vision of like tall buildings just scattered all around him. But in the secret ending for Kingdom Hearts 3, we do see Riku walking in Quadratum to where it's purely dark. It's purely dark at night, but there's also somebody who is watching him. Which, of course, spoiler alert for those who have actually have or have not played the secret episode in Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind, we obviously know that this person who's watching Riku from above, from these tall buildings, is none other than Yozora. Which obviously, for those of y'all who don't know, we first learn about Yozora, who actually is a video game character in Verum Rex in the game video in Verum Rex that was discovered in the Toy Box world in Kingdom Hearts 3. So basically, that's how Sora definitely viewed him. But obviously, that we do know that Yozora definitely confirms that is definitely is not his true form. He definitely takes on somebody else, but it definitely just raises a lot of questions, because when you do think about it, Kingdom Hearts as a series, there definitely is a lot of identity crisis situations going on. There is a lot of stuff to where, like, a lot of people definitely do change their name and their personality as to who they really are. One example for this being is like back in the end of Birth by Sleep, when Terra got Norded, he definitely turned his name to Ansem. Of course, obviously talking about Xehanort. But we've had a lot of name changes. And basically, there's definitely a lot of theories and questions as to how Riku's journey is going to start in Quadratum. And I'm looking at Twitch chat. Bahamut says, the more they talk about Quadratum, the more I think we're going to see the world into view again. This is sounding more like the underground from the world ends of view. And then he goes on to says, and I quote, "I'm calling it now, it's Ava. It makes the most sense. No, wait, I'm thinking of someone else, my bad." And then Goof says in Twitch chat, "Eventually." So, I definitely do have a strong theory as to what's going to happen. So, if y'all remember in the secret ending for Kingdom Hearts 3, we definitely see what honestly feels like to be two different parts of Quadratum. There's one that definitely looks like one that's during the day, and there's one that looks like it happens at night. Now, there definitely is no telling as to what's going to happen. But my guess is, what if there are two different parts of Quadratum? Now, hear me out. Here's what I got to say. If you guys remember, in Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, Sora and Riku definitely were asleep in the sleeping worlds. Now, of course, they obviously got to visit the same worlds together. They also got to visit Traverse Town, but they also interacted with different people at the start of the game. With Sora, it was definitely Neku, Sakuraba, and Rhyme. And then for Riku interacted with Shiki and Beat. Of course, they also interacted with Joshua, who was able to traverse into both different portals, to where he definitely explains in the world of dreams, these two places were definitely more like portals, and Joshua definitely had access to both of them. So, but that was in the dream worlds, and I'm definitely guessing that there might be two different sides of Quadratum. One that is definitely awake, and one to where a world of Quadratum is sleeping. But here's another thing I want to add on to that. If we all remember from the trailer in Kingdom Hearts 4, we do see that Sora is in a daytime version of Quadratum. We see Strelitzia in all her 3D glory, in her 3D form. She definitely looks absolutely amazing. And there's a lot of signs. There's a lot of signs and billboards saying, keep track of your name and identity and all that kind of stuff. So to me, even though we know that Quadratum is a world that mostly symbolizes the afterlife, because we also got to keep in mind that Sora is dead, but also, spoilers for Union Cross, Strelitzia is also dead. For those of y'all who remember or have played Union Cross, we do learn that Ventus, who was possessed by darkness, was the one who struck down Strelitzia, and from there she died. But over during the time of Union Cross, she had, as time just went by, Strelitzia didn't age at all. She definitely was the same the way she was. And during the events of Kingdom Hearts 3, where Sora is fighting the organization in the Keyblade Graveyard, he definitely saves a lot of people, such as defeating people like Zigbar and Luxord. He definitely fights Marluxia and Larxene. And basically with the whole thing of changing your name, your identity, and all that kind of stuff, it definitely has been like a confidential kind of situation for the Kingdom Hearts series. Because honestly, when y'all think about it, when someone takes on a different name, a different persona, you know, they definitely say stuff like, you know, that's our secret or that's my secret. They're always changing it. They always keep it very secretive. So, of course, we all know that Nomura is doing this on purpose. Nomura! But now, this kind of gets me thinking about the two different sides of Quadratum. So, if y'all remember in Kingdom Hearts 3, especially in Remind, we saw, I guess what we can say is probably two different versions of the final world. And Sora actually got to explore these different final worlds. There was one where it was like blue sky and absolute peace. According to the Nameless Star, that's definitely is where both she and Sora first met for the first time, and they got to interact and got to know each other. To where Sora says, "You know what? I'm gonna help you in every way I can. So definitely don't give up, and we'll definitely find the person you're looking for." Which, of course, obviously, the Nameless Star states that she is definitely looking for somebody, and she does whisper the name to Sora of the person she's looking for. And there's definitely has been a lot of talk going back and forth as to who this person is that the Nameless Star referring to. One of them is being Yozora, because spoiler alert again for the secret episode in Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind. When Sora actually comes back, arrives into the final world, it's definitely the same, but it's more at night. It's more of a dark sky, and it definitely plays the song that you guys are hearing right now. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but if y'all can't, I'll definitely will turn it up a little bit more. I'll turn it up just a little bit more. That should be good. Okay, but it's definitely more of a nighttime version, and you know, and this is where Sora finally interacts with Yozora, and during their confrontation, when they start fighting one another, well, before that, Sora mentions that, like, hey, you know, you're Yozora, and and obviously we know that Sora recognized Yozora was because of the Verum Rex video game that he learned about in the Toy Box world in Kingdom Hearts, in main story for Kingdom Hearts 3. So, but Yozora definitely states, like, you know, like, hey, you know, why are you using Sora's body? You know, my path is clear that I was supposed to find Sora, and I was supposed to save Sora. Although the form that you see now is not my true form. So, there definitely raises a lot of questions. So, a lot of people theorize that this person the Nameless Star is referring to is Yozora. But one person that we can possibly theorize is Lorium, which for those of y'all who don't know, is the person that Marluxia used to be. Because for those who have played Union Cross, Strelitzia and Lorium are brother and sister, and there definitely was a key to what we saw in Kingdom Hearts 4 in the one of the trailers for Kingdom Hearts 4, and one of it was a hairpin that Strelitzia was wearing, and it had the Roman numeral 11, which for those of y'all who definitely know for Kingdom Hearts logic and lore, Marluxia's organization number was 11. That was his organization number. So it could possibly be that this Nameless Star was Strelitzia, but it definitely raised a lot of questions. But some people definitely think it's definitely is somebody from the Verum Rex video game, but we honestly don't know. There's definitely a lot of questions just waiting to be answered for Kingdom Hearts 4 until we find out more news and more information. And, excuse me. Bahamut says it could also be Luxord's other self though, because of the cutscene after you beat Yozora. It could probably be a possibility, because what we do gotta remember something though. After Sora wins a fight against Yozora is definitely seen in a car, but he's in the city of Quadratum, and instead of it being all nighttime and gloomy and barren and just completely empty with nobody around or nothing. Like, it's just full of life. Its city is bustling. Like it feels like the whole entire world is completely alive. I mean, obviously we don't know who was the driver, who's driving the car, but there's no chance. There's no telling though. But there's got to be something to do with that, also with that card that Sora gains from Luxor before his passing, to where Luxor pretty much states, think of it as like a wild card. So maybe that could be the possibility as to why Sora is definitely still around. Maybe that card probably is going to play an important role later on in Kingdom Hearts 3. There's definitely is no telling. But it definitely does raise a lot of questions on what we can possibly expect. Now, going back to Riku and how this is going to be his journey. Why we feel that it's going to be his journey is, to me, I feel like that the whole entire plot of Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to be about facing the consequences. There's definitely was a lot going on. So, although we saw, so for example, we saw 2 different endings in the Yozora fight. There's one to where Sora actually wins and beats Yozora in a fight, and then there's one to where Sora actually lost. So, but it honestly could mean a lot of things. It can mean almost anything. But I feel that at the start of Kingdom Hearts 4, Riku's gonna have to face a lot of trials and a lot of consequences, because it kind of goes back to what Yozora says in the final world with his confrontation with Sora. He mentions, like, it's like, as I stumbled upon this world, I had to go through many trials and different paths to actually get here. So, and I'm guessing that probably when Riku comes to Quadratum, he's gonna have to go through many trials, face on many trials and many errors head on. Now, so my prediction is, it definitely does seem that Riku's dream that he mentioned about how he saw the tall buildings, he saw a night sky, very gloomy and very barren, but he felt like that somebody was watching him, and obviously we know that that person was Yozora. Now, there is definitely no telling if Riku is probably going to have to fight Yozora. Now, the real question is, with this Yozora, compared to Yozora that Sora actually fought in the final world, there honestly is no telling. Could this be a data version of Yozora, or is the real version of Yozora? Because honestly, throughout the Kingdom Hearts series, there's definitely been the real fights, and there's also been the data fights. So there's honestly could raise a lot of questions as to, like, which version of Yozora does Sora face? Was Sora actually fighting the real Yozora? Or maybe it was just a data version of Yozora? There's honestly is no telling whatsoever. It definitely raises a lot of questions. So, I honestly feel that Riku is probably going to fight either the real Yozora, or probably just fight a data version of Yozora. And it's definitely going to be asking, Riku's definitely going to be asking a lot of questions, like, like, who are you, and, like, why are you here, and then, like, and I feel like it's just going to go back and forth in between, because Yozora's going to state, like, like, I came here after going through many trials and all this other stuff, but I was also told that my mission was to find Sora and to save Sora. And I'm sure he probably will ask the same questions to Riku like he did to Sora, saying like, wait, you're Riku? Why are you taking on Riku's body? Why are you taking on his form? If you definitely are Riku, or you say who you are, then my path is clear. And I feel like this is definitely going to be a confrontational fight that both Riku and Yozora are probably going to have. And I feel like this is definitely going to be an important one. Now, there's no telling after the events of the fight, maybe there might be a point to where Riku and Yozora probably might have to team up, or to a point to where Yozora himself tells Riku that he is looking for somebody, or he probably needs Sora as like a key or like a guide to save somebody, and that person could probably be the nameless star that Sora met in the final world. there's obviously is no telling. Obviously, it still raises a lot of questions as to who this nameless star really is. I'm sure we'll find out more details when we get more information of Kingdom Hearts 4. But there is one thing that we do know, thanks to Nomura and that Crossroads post that he posted back in January. One thing I can say is that for sure, we do know that in Quadratum, there is a crossroad. So I kind of wonder something. Is there going to be a crossroad to where Riku and Yozora are going to confront one another and start clashing? Or is Riku definitely going to confront somebody else who definitely is more capable of definitely helping Riku to find Sora and to bring him back home? It definitely raises a lot of questions there. So, and I feel like, as well, that there could possibly be a crossroad for Sora. So, I mean, for example, like, and I feel like there's going to be a crossroad for both characters, for the different sides of Quadratum. One point of the crossroad is to where Riku is definitely going to confront Yozora, and is definitely going to, and the consequence is going to be to where Riku is going to have to force himself to fight Yozora, or Yozora wants to fight Riku. And then you have another part to where Quadratum is alive, it's more awake, it's more bustling. And in this crossroad with Sora, this is where he'll probably run into the Master of Masters and probably Lucio. There's honestly is no telling what's going to happen. But I do feel that mostly with the consequences that is being faced for those who are living in Quadratum, a world that definitely takes on the form of the afterlife. And seeing all these signs and billboards stating that, keep your name and memory in check, I feel like that the entire world of Quadratum is keeping a lot of people's existence in jeopardy. A lot is definitely going on. And there's no telling about Strelitzia. It could probably be the real Strelitzia, or it can be someone else, maybe like an avatar, or someone that was pretty much made up by the Master of Masters during his time there. There's honestly no telling, because it could probably be someone who's probably is trying to trick Sora, because this has kind of been a thing, like throughout the Kingdom Hearts series, where someone is definitely trying to be on Sora's good side, and thus they end up tricking him. But there's honestly is no telling. But I feel like that, and there's no telling. Riku could probably have his own name and identity definitely in jeopardy. Because to keep in mind, Riku is definitely going to be in a world to where people are already dead. Because we got to remember one thing. The fairy godmother showed off in Melody of Memory that in the final world, all the stars that we got to see were people who were pretty much dead. And they were waiting for their loved ones to come find them, so that way they can return to the way they were, or to where they actually came from. And there honestly is no telling that Sora himself could probably be in that world somewhere, taking on the form as a star. And even Ansem the Wise states himself that it definitely is a world to where voices cannot be reached. And the one way I can say that was during the final fight against Master Xehanort in Melody of Memory. If you guys remember, Kairi confronts Master Xehanort in the final world. And from there, Sora, in a way, definitely joins Kairi for that fight. But obviously we know that Sora is not talking. And the only reason why we know that is because Sora is in another world. Sora is in Quadratum. And the reason why we don't get to hear Sora talk in that fight is because, just like Ansem the Wise said, there is a world to where voices cannot be reached. And I'm sure that Sora was probably trying to talk to Kairi, but he was in a position to where his voice cannot be reached to Kairi. Like, definitely letting her know, like, where he is, what she needs to do in order to get to him. But it definitely raises a lot of speculation and theories when we do think about it. Bahamut says, Yozora also gives some Noctis vibes in Quadratum. This looks like Insomnia. I wonder if we'll see Noctis in Kingdom Hearts 4. I kind of do like that question, Bahamut, and I definitely do see where you're getting at. And a lot of people were definitely, and I definitely want to bring this up and add on to this, Bahamut. A lot of people were talking about like how that scene at the end of the fight against Yozora, to where we see Yozora just sleeping in a car and he's in a city and he's just looking around and he's just gazing and looking and looking and looking. But a lot of people say this definitely takes a lot of reference to, I want to say, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, because this is definitely a game I have not played. I mean, I think this game got canceled. I don't know, but I believe it was Final Fantasy Versus 13. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I definitely am familiar with the character Noctis. Obviously, we know about him in FF15, but a lot of people say that Yozora definitely takes on a strong resemblance to Noctis from 15. So. And there's honestly is no telling that maybe Yozora's true form is Noctis. There is without a doubt a question. There's no telling, because Yozora says himself, this is not. I mean, although you see me this way, but this is not who I really look like. Bahamut says it got changed midway to development and came FF15. Gotcha. Thank you, Bahamut. Yeah, I have not. Yeah. I'm sorry for all the Final Fantasy 15 fans. I actually have not played it. I promise y'all, I will get back to y'all one day when I play the game, but also when I do end up getting it. I do need to buy the game for myself. I really do want to play it. It definitely looks really fun. I've seen a lot of people play FF15. Excuse me. I'm so sorry about that. But it definitely does, ask so many questions about Riku. There's going to be I feel like, okay, here's how I see Kingdom Hearts 4 starting off. We're definitely going to get a recap from what happens in Melodious Memory. Riku definitely talks about, how he mentions about the dream he had. The tall buildings, seeing a dark, gloomy sky. Feels like somebody was watching him. And then, of course, with the help of the Fairy Godmother, both him, Kairi, and the Fairy Godmother get to interact with the Nameless Star, which, thanks to her help, Riku definitely uses the power of waking to access the portal to take him to Quadratum. And I feel that at the start of Kingdom Hearts 4 is definitely going to be the start of Riku's journey. And the reason why I feel that this version of Quadratum in Riku's side was more dark and gloomy. There's a night sky, where in Sora's part of Quadratum, it's more daytime. Everybody is awake. The city's all bustling. There's people moving around and all that stuff. I definitely want to think about something. It's something that I was saying earlier about the two portals that I mentioned, like a reference to the two portal thing from Dream Drop Distance. Maybe there might be a similarity to that. It could be a similarity to where one world of Quadratum is asleep, and then there's another one to where the world of Quadratum is awake. Because think about it. In the nighttime version of Quadratum, Yozora definitely is in the fight with Sora, and then he ends up losing, where he says, I guess my powers are not needed here. And then at the end of the cutscene, we see Yozora waking up in a car, but it's more in the daytime version of Quadratum, where everything is busy, much more alive, and all that stuff. But I definitely do want to I want to theorize as to what if Riku is in the sleeping version of Quadratum, while Sora, in this case, with Strelitzia, and of course with the Master of Masters and with Lushu, which I'm sure he'll probably run into more characters, like maybe he'll run into Lorium, maybe he'll run into Elrena, aka the person who used to be Larxene. There's no telling. And I feel that Riku is going to be in the sleeping world version of Quadratum. And I feel that he's going to and to me, I feel that Riku is going to probably have to find a portal to where he can actually gain access to the waking version of Quadratum. And I'm sure it's going to probably be a power that was similar to what Joshua had in Dream Drop Distance. The kind of power to where he was able to travel and traverse to two different portals. Because you remember, you guys remember, Joshua in Dream Drop Distance was able to traverse to both portals of Sora and Riku in the Dreaming Worlds. One to where he got to interact with Sora, and then there was one to where he got to interact with Riku. So I wonder if Riku is probably going to access that power. Maybe there's no telling that he'll probably will get to interact with Joshua. Maybe he'll definitely will learn this power to access the different portals. One that is awake, one that is asleep. And then to where he'll probably will end up in the waking portion of Quadratum. But at the cost of him being there, since we know that Riku is not dead, he's still alive. This is one of the consequences that Riku's going to have to face, is that his name, his identity, is going to be in full jeopardy. And that is definitely what I was getting at with the signs that we see throughout the trailer, in the trailer of Kingdom Hearts 4. Saying, like, a sign that says Libra. Saying stuff like, you know, keep your name and identity in check. Keep that in mind and all that stuff. And I feel like that's with everybody who was in Quadratum. Sora, Strelitzia, and all the different characters who I'm sure we probably are going to meet in Quadratum. Their names and their identity are probably in jeopardy at this very moment. And I feel like that's definitely going to be the consequences that Riku himself is probably going to have to face while he's traversing in the world of Quadratum. His name is probably and identity will be in crisis to where it is in full jeopardy. That is definitely my take. Bahamut. Okay. Oh, we got some good ones from Bahamut. Bahamut says, if they do include Noctis and there are two different sides of Quadratum, I wonder if they'll do a thing to where Riku meets Arden and Sora meets Noctis. You might have to remind me who Arden is, because I'm sure that's probably from Final Fantasy 15. I've actually never played Final Fantasy 15. Once again, I am really sorry, Final Fantasy fans. I do love Final Fantasy. It's one of my favorite series of all time. But I'm more of an FF7 guy, but I do need to play more games outside of 7. I promise you, I definitely will get to play more Final Fantasy games outside of 7. I'll definitely will get to those, I promise you. And looking at Twitch, I see Sora. Sora, hello, welcome in. He says Sora's going to have to wake Sora up from another nap yet again. Oh, Riku's going to have to wake Sora up from another nap. But Sora, welcome in. I hope you're having an awesome day today. Bahamut says, well, Joshua's powers are unique, but I won't elaborate because the world ends with spoilers. Gotcha. And then he says, Arden is the main villain of 15, but that's all I'll say. Okay. I definitely do like where this is going. Okay. I really do like this. I really do like this is going. I mean, heck, there's no telling as to what is actually going to become. What's going to become of the events of Kingdom Hearts 4. But with Riku, just like Sora, I feel like that he's going to have to face many challenges and many consequences. Because it's like I was saying, it was definitely like I was saying earlier. If y'all remember during Sora and Yazora's confrontation in the final world, Yazora tells Sora that that when he stumbled upon this world, he took many paths and took on many trials to get where he is. And I feel that at the cost of that, with Riku being there, Riku's going to also have to do the same thing that Yazora did in order to get there. Yeah, we know that he used the power of waking to actually get to Quadratum. And we'll get to see more of that once we learn more about what Kingdom Hearts 4 has to offer. But I do feel that Riku's going to have to face a lot of consequences. There's going to be a lot of fights that I feel that Riku's going to have to get through. And they're probably going to be more tougher and more challenging than what he had to deal with back in Kingdom Hearts 3, when both him and King Mickey had to take on the Heartless in the Realm of Darkness. And who knows? There's no telling if Riku probably might have another broken Keyblade. Because if you guys remember, Riku's main Keyblade got shattered in the Realm of Darkness. And he had to leave it behind. To where he says, I'm going to leave this for my other self to come collect it and to come find it. But there is no telling like for a probably fictional world like Quadratum that takes on the form of the afterlife. Even though we definitely do get to see a giant Heartless in the trailer for Kingdom Hearts 4 where Sora is off fighting against it. You know, I do feel that these enemies are going to be much more tougher than what we expect. And they probably might be much more tougher for what we've seen in past Kingdom Hearts games. Because if y'all remember, there definitely is one world to where it was surrounded by tall buildings, to where Sora definitely had to fight Heartless. And for those of y'all who don't know what I'm talking about, and y'all can correct me on this if I'm wrong, or if I missed something, but excuse me. And also, Riku has also been in this world. The world I'm referring to was the world that never was. Definitely filled with a bunch of tall buildings. There were Heartless scattered around everywhere. But I feel like this might be similar to back when Riku was there. Because we all know that Riku was there during his confrontation with Roxas. So it probably might be like a bit of like something that he remembers during that fight. But there's going to be a lot of consequences and actions that Riku's going to have to take head on during his journey in Quadratum. Bahamut says, I think that other self thing was more symbolic, where Riku was talking about the part of himself that was always connected to the darkness. Exactly. And I definitely do see where you're getting that, Bahamut, because when you do think about it, you know, Riku is the kind of character, like throughout his character arc, to where he's mostly has been balancing between light and darkness, you know. And that was definitely something that even King Mickey talks about in Chain of Memories, to where even though that's why he takes, the road to dawn, because this is definitely somebody who balances and channels both light and darkness. So it's definitely going to be a lot going on. So Riku's definitely going to have a tough journey ahead in Kingdom Hearts 4. Bahamut says, because Way to Dawn was his keyway when he gave himself over to the darkness. This is true. And like I was saying earlier, Bahamut, in the realm of darkness, it got shattered. It got completely broken. And Riku himself had to get himself a new Keyblade. But there's honestly no telling what can happen here. Maybe Riku probably may not have a way to find... I was speaking too fast. So I don't know. There's no telling. Riku might have trouble finding a way to get back. Even though the fairy godmother said herself, she says if you run into any trouble, be sure to come back immediately. But there's going to definitely be a lot of trials and different paths that Riku's going to have to take. And I feel like that one of those challenges are probably going to be at the crossroad that we see in Kingdom Hearts 4. Because Quadratum definitely does, without a doubt, have a crossroad. A lot of people definitely do like to theorize that we're probably going to run into World Ends of View characters, most likely being the ones from Neo World Ends of View. Obviously, there's no telling. By the way, that's another game I do need to play. That is definitely does need to play. But honestly, I do feel like I do have a theory that after Riku's fight with Yozora, and I know I was saying this earlier, he probably might run into one of the members of the Tui crew. And I feel that he's definitely going to run into Joshua. Now, obviously, we know that back in Dream Drop Distance, Joshua definitely had mysterious powers to where he was able to traverse to 2 different portals in the dreaming worlds. One to where he got to interact with Sora, and one to where he got to interact with Riku. But there is no telling what's going to happen. And I feel like, here's what I think is going to happen. To kind of like add some more pieces to the puzzle, Riku's going to enter Quadratum. It's going to be nighttime. It's going to be completely dark. It's not going to be as busy as it was in the daytime version in Sora's part, where he's with Strelitzia. But I feel that his first fight is probably going to be against Yozora. And there's going to be a strong confrontation and a bunch of lengthy cutscenes that we're going to have to experience through Riku's point of view. Asking questions like, like, hey, you kind of do look like me, even though you're not me. And then like, there's going to be a bunch of stuff going on like I probably may have heard about you from somebody, but I want to know why you're here. And I feel like the whole time, Riku's definitely is going to explore most of Quadratum just to seek answers and to find more clues as to how he can actually get to Sora. Maybe go to the portal for the waking side of the world of Quadratum just to get there so that way he can find Sora and bring him back home. And I feel like the person who's going to teach him these powers is Joshua. There's honestly is no telling that Joshua probably may be there. We don't know if Joshua is going to be there. We don't know if Joshua was somebody who only exists only in the dreaming world, just like how we saw in Dream Drop Distance. And that's why we got to see the other members of the 2E gang, like Neku and Shiki and Rhyme and Beat. But there is definitely no telling if they will make an appearance. Definitely do make an appearance. But there is no telling. Maybe we'll run into some of the characters from Neo. Like maybe what's his name? Rindo. Like maybe Riku probably might run into Rindo. There's honestly is no telling what's honestly is going to happen. And Bahamut says, would be interesting to see if they meet Mr. H from 2E. Because it definitely seems like something he would get involved with. And I definitely do see that. I do see that because I know Mr. H definitely plays a very important role in the World Ends Review. But it could definitely raise a lot of questions. And I do feel that for a character like Mr. H, honestly, I won't go into spoilers for those who have not played World Ends Review. But I feel like that for somebody like him and with his personality, there honestly could raise a lot of theories as to like, what if Riku actually confronts Mr. H? What if Riku definitely confronts Mr. H and definitely learns about what he can do to find his lost friend? How to get to the portal or to the waking side of the world of Quadratum just to find Sora. And I definitely do want to speculate as maybe I feel that also not only Sora, but Riku is definitely going to run into more people. More people that we definitely do recognize from the Union Cross games. From Union Cross. And I definitely do want to say that I feel like maybe Sora or Riku will probably run into Loria. Maybe we'll run into El Reina. We'll run into more people from Union Cross. And it's like what you were saying earlier, Bahamut, the more chances are maybe something happened to Ava. Which is why Ava was not at the meeting point at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3. Obviously, we know that all the 4 towers were there. All the 4 towers were there with Lushu at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3. But Ava was the only one who was nowhere to be found. So we don't know where she's at. We don't know if she's definitely is lost somewhere. There honestly is no telling. But I feel it's kind of like what the fairy godmother said. Is that whoever this nameless star is definitely going to be another key for Riku to track down Sora. Because I feel like that because of the nameless star, this is definitely was part 1 of Riku's journey in Quadratum. Being able to use the power of waking to get to the fictional world of Quadratum. And I feel like there's going to be another key from the nameless star for part 2. Trying to find a way to get to Sora's part of Quadratum. So I wonder if this nameless star, or whoever she is, might raise a lot of theories and questions as to like what else can she do to help Riku out and to find Sora. And I feel what else is going to happen is while Riku is out journeying in Quadratum, I do have a feeling that after Kairi undergoes training. Because I forgot to mention that at the end of Melody of Memory, she mentions to Master Yen Sid that she wants to undergo training under Aqua. And I feel that once Kairi is all fully trained and she's ready to go, I feel that she's definitely going to return to the final world. And so when she definitely learns the power of waking, she is definitely going to be the one to meet Riku, so that way she can team up and definitely go find Sora. But part of me wants to think that I feel that Kairi, along the way in the final world, she probably might be able to reach Sora's star. Because when y'all do think about it, as I was saying this earlier at the start of this episode, the final world had many stars to where there basically were like people who were like already dead and they were waiting for their loved ones to come find them. So that way they can return to the way they were. Because think about it this way. If Sora when Sora came to the final world, before he confronted the nameless star, he has a conversation with Naminé, to where Naminé states that Kairi is the one who's keeping her safe. And as Sora keeps exploring, and interacting with more people in the final world, that's where later on he confronts the Nameless Star. And I feel that with Kairi, while Riku was out in Quadratum, I feel that she's going to be the one to probably run into Sora's Star, to where his voice can actually be reached. Because where Sora is right now, Sora is in a place where his voice cannot be reached by somebody in a different world. But that is definitely a lot going on. So to add on, just say probably maybe a couple more things as to what we can probably gather from Riku's point of view. Not only will he fight Yozora, he probably might fight Joshua just so he can learn about and get powers to definitely go to Sora's version of Quadratum. But I do feel like, and I feel like it would make a lot more sense, I do feel that Riku is going to discover that Lushu is Xigbar. Obviously, we all knew from the ending of Kingdom Hearts 3 that that Lushu turned out to be Xigbar. So it honestly would make a lot of sense when you do think about it. Because even in the secret ending for Kingdom Hearts 3, we do see the Master of Masters as to where he's standing on top of a building, he's making the heart shaped, and while he's gazing up at the moon. So I kind of have a theory about this. I feel that Riku is going to be the one who's going to fight Lushu, and then Sora is going to be the one who will be taking on the Master of Masters, another antagonist. But it definitely raises a lot of questions to this day, like as to what's really going to happen to Riku's story. And I feel like that maybe there's going to be two different stories, kind of similar to what we have in Rechain of Memories. Because if y'all do remember, in Rechain of Memories, there are two different stories. It's one for Sora and one for Riku, to where they're both in Castle Oblivion. And now that both characters are both wandering around and trying to find a way to get out in Quadratum, then there definitely is going to be two different sides of the story. One from Sora's perspective and one from Riku's perspective. But with Riku's perspective, I feel like there's just going to be more consequences that he's going to have to face head on in order to find Yozora. Well, obviously, in order to find Sora. Damn it, I keep getting things mixed up. But it definitely raises a lot of questions. But I want to know what you guys think. What do you guys have to think about this? Let me know in the YouTube comments below on what y'all think is going to happen to Riku. Will Riku be the one to face on many trials, just like what Yozora did when he mentioned what he mentioned during his conversation with Sora, saying he had to take on many paths and trials to get to the world he stumbled upon? But what is Riku's going to have to do? I'd like to know about how you feel that Riku's journey is going to start in Quadratum. I definitely named a few, but I would like to know in the YouTube comments, what do you guys think is going to happen to Riku? How do you think that Riku's journey is going to start compared to how Sora's journey is going to start in Quadratum? So I would like to know what you guys think. I definitely do love reading YouTube comments, so feel free to share your answers on what you guys have to say, and I definitely will get back to y'all. So, for here on, I feel like that is going to be all the time that we definitely do have for today. Thank y'all so much for being here. It's been really fun. I can't wait. I can't wait to talk about more of this in the future, especially when we do talk more about Kingdom Hearts 4, whenever we learn about more news. And hey, and who knows? Maybe we'll learn more this year in 2025. Maybe we'll learn more news next year in 2026, or maybe for the 25th anniversary in 2027. There's obviously is no telling. We don't know. So anyway, I'm going to talk to you guys about the next episode for my Kingdom Hearts podcast, the Paopu Scoop. Of course, we obviously do this every 13th day in the month. I don't know why it's the third day in the month. That's for Zelda podcast. But the next episode, and I kid you not, this is not a prank. This is not a joke for the month of April. I promise you. I'm going to do this. And I definitely do want to give a shout out and credit to my friend Azza the Ace, for actually given me this idea for a cool topic to talk about for the next podcast episode. So join me for episode 5. Like I said, I'm crediting Aza for this topic that I'm going to be talking about. Is we are going to be talking about Terra. I'm going to be going into all out to where I myself will be defending Terra and say that it was not Terra's fault. We definitely will be talking about Terra's character's arc. And now that he's back, thanks to Kingdom Hearts 3, what's going to happen to him now? Well, is he going to continue the search, like Riku said, of him trying to find Sora in Kingdom Hearts 4? What is going to happen? So join me for next month on April 13th, as we will be discussing about Terra, why he absolutely did nothing wrong, and to conclude it, what is going to happen to Terra now that he's back and alive again. I'll leave you guys to decide what y'all think is going to happen to Terra, but we will discuss that for next time. But please, let me know in the YouTube comments, what do you guys think is going to happen to Riku? How is Riku's journey going to start? I already talked about a few points on how I feel it's going to start, but I want to know what you guys have to say about it. Let me know what you guys think is going to happen. And if you guys are watching this on YouTube, please definitely subscribe, as it really, really helps me a lot. When you guys subscribe, I get the opportunity to sit down here and talk about theories and lore for the Kingdom Hearts series. But also, for my Zelda podcast, the Kokiri Chronicles, which you guys should definitely do check out, as I talk about Zelda, as I do have a Zelda podcast on every third day of the month. But I can't wait for the next episode. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time for the next episode as I talk about Terra. See you guys then.